Dandavat Pranam Maharaj.
Haribo, Dandavat, Dandavat. Hare Nanda Ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Ananda
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. Darshini, Bhagavati Didi, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
Haribo. Dandavat Devoti, Keshav Prabhu, Ananda Krishna.
Dandavat.
Hi, Ananda Krishna Prabhu.
Jai Srila Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaja ki.
Jai.
How are you, Maharaj?
I'm good, Prabhu. Everyone
Yeah,
okay? Everyone okay there? Yes.
yeah, Maharaj.
Okay.
Everyone okay for great Lord Guru Vaishnavas.
Jai.
I'm very happy.
You're very happy?
Thank you. Is you very happy? We very happy too.
This is change and be happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Ah.
Oh. Haribo.
Srila Bhakti Rakshak Goswami Maharaj always speaking Gora Haribol, Gora Haribol, Gora Haribol, Gora Haribol. I love you. Hare Krishna mantra, huh? Gora Haribol, Gora Haribol, Gora.
He would say, go to Haribo. He would also say, Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let's start with Vandana.
Banda, sí, llamara.
Vandeham.
Vandeham
Shiguro. Yuta Kamalam. Shiguro. Vaishnavam. Shiguro. Sahajatam. Sahaganatam. Tam Sujivam. Advaitam.
Tavadu,
Advaitam.
Yana,
Parijanasahitam.
Chaitanya,
Harivam.
Sri
Radha.
Krishna,
Krishna Padam. Sakala Lalita.
Nirvishahita,
Sarutam.
Onanjana, Timirandasya, Jana Jana Salakaya, Tasu Lumina, I Shri Puyasir Guru Varga Vandita, Vanditaya,
Bhagavaya Parampara. Pachadusya Pamurta Kite.
Bhakti Nirmani Maharaja, Sanga Sataranam Sanga, Bandesi Gurudeva Anatasira, Acharya Vijaniha, Urva Vista Supurakan, Guru Naila Shisha Sambhu Shitam, Chintya Chintya Veda Nipunan, Sirupa Bhakti
Govinda Bidam Ujvalam.
Bharatanu
Bharatanam Sarvikam.
Bhatyam Vidhan Sundara
Devam Bhagavan Devo Hidijabadam.
Bhagava Premo Hivya Pradam
Devam Divyacham.
Bhagava
Devam Palarkati Vanchitam.
Chandrananda
Surananda Param. Vidyabudim. Sridhara.
Bhakti Rasita Saraswat
Saraswataram. Vande Tam Subhadam. Yashiswaram Shriram.
Srila Sukatiti Vidito Gauriya Batovanu Gauras Rane Kimi
Krishna Prema
Suavi Gana
Sada Prabhu Nandade
Namo
Namo Kishoraya
Kishoraya Bhakta
Bhaktavinu
Gauranga Bama Vrindaya Radha Baba Nisevine
Vande Bhakti
Bhakti Vinodam Shivura Sarupan
Bhakti
Bhakti
Satyaki
Satyam Bhagavad Sudanidhi Gaura Braja
Radhika Sukadesha
Vaishnavi Vande
Vaishnava Vandana
Jagannath
Vrindavan Vande
Nadi
Vrindavan Vaishnava
Panchaka
Kalpatarusya
Sindhu
Kripasindu
Vasya
Vishya
Patitana
Patitanam
Isnavejo Namaha Panchatuatvam Vatan Krishnam
Krishnam
Bhakta Rupa Swarupa
Bhaktarupam
Javataram
Bhaktarataya
Namami
Paribhakti Satyam
Bhaktyam
Namo
Namo
Narayana Krishna
Krishna
Paramanayate
Yate
Krishnaya
Krishna Chaitanya Name
Namo Se Namaha
Jai
Jayakam
Gurau
Guru
or Mama Man
Mama
Saraswati
Asarvati
Oya
Namo Divya
Yarin Adumala Nanda Gandharva Krishna Livi Servani
Shriman
Sami
Saraswati
Sivatata Stita Karsam Venu Kai Gopi Gopina
Vrinaya Tulsi Devaya Jai Krishna Shastra Krishna Bhakti Namaskar Namo Namaha Otanatva Mantra Guru Kurung Bhagavata Sada Yasta Yasta Jai Sakarika Shishi Guru Guranga Kandara Govinda
Sundar Padama Jaya Su Sri Krishna Chaitanya Gauri Nyananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Santa Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Jai Samaveda Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. And of course, the assembled devotees, of course, and the worldwide devotees, Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Sripad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj ki Jai.
We're going to read from Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam, Jaya Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Paribraja Gacharya Statata Sata Sri Sripad, Bhakti Rakshak Dev-Goswami Maharaja Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai
Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai
Text 35 in chapter 9. Paramananda Sarupa Sri Krishnaptir Eva Sarva Shrestha Sukha Prapti. And Mayarpitat Pana, Sabya, Nirapekshasya, Sarvataha, Mayatpana, Sukabhyatat, Kutavya, Kutasyad, Yasya, Yasyat, Vishayatmanam. This is from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Huh? Reading verses from the Bhagavatam. Mayarpitat Panaksavya, Nirapekshasya, Sarvataha, Mayatmana Sukabhyatat, Kutasyad, Vishayatmanam. The ultimate happiness is the attainment of the servers of Sri Krishna, who is divine ecstasy personified. My dear saints, where can the materialists find the happiness that I, the embodiment of divine ecstasy, bestow within the hearts of those who offer life and soul unto me, and who have thus become indifferent to all else? So we know the ontological status is a ontology of the Absolute called sat-cit-ananda vigraha. Sat-cit-ananda. Actually, Sat and Chit all depend on Ananda. The real Absolute, the ultimate of all things, of course, they're not independent, but anyhow, the ultimate Absolute is the Ananda, is the ecstasy. Sridhara was very fond of saying that the Srimad Bhagavatam teaches Raso Vaisa, Raso Vaisa, Raso Vaisa. A taste, the ecstasy, that is the ultimate. The Vedanta Sutra, it teaches Brahma Jignasa, that Brahma is the ultimate, that you are spirit. But the Bhagavatam teaches more than that. It tells they're not only spirit, but this joy, the ecstasy, the taste, the sweetness, the beauty, the love, that is driving everything. There we find the highest expression. Nothing surpasses that. It says here, Sri Krishna, divine ecstasy personified. So that if we want to get to the root, true nature of Krishna, we will find ecstasy. Prabhupada explained to us that Krishna has two words, Krishna, Krish, and Na. And he explained that means Krishna means giving, uh, receiving pleasure and giving pleasure. We are pleasing Krishna, and he is also giving pleasure to those who are pleasing. Yeah, we can meditate deeply on what is driving us, what is driving everything. You'll find that there's this desire, this pleasure, this search for pleasure. There's some pleasurable how would you say, force, some pleasurable energy that is driving us. And that pleasure comes from the highest of Krishna. That is the highest pleasure, connected with the source of all pleasure. The highest pleasure. Amritatya, Amritasya Putra. Srila told, we are sons of nectar, Amritasya. You're children of nectar. We're born of nectar and we're born to taste nectar. The whole motive of spiritual life or material life or any kind of life is to relish that pleasure, to seek that pleasure in every moment. And without that, our lives, we would not be able to maintain our lives. That is the supreme element, the supreme reality on which everything else is manifest in different degrees of ecstasy. You see, in this world, we go after money or beauty or wealth or power or knowledge. Why do we chase all these things? Because there's some pleasure in that. We get some pleasure out of that. That's the driving force. We do not know that the source of all of that pleasure, the highest fountainhead from which that is flowing, is Krishna. Where can the materialist find the happiness that I, the embodiment of divine ecstasy, bestow within the hearts of those who offer life soul to thee, and therefore become indifferent to everything else? Jai. Aditi Nandan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna.
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Bhakti Yoga, Hare Krishna, Santa Maharaj, Srila Santa Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
We
Happy
haven't
to see
seen,
you, Prabhu. My
Happy
heart
to,
is happy.
happy to see you.
Long time, Prabhuji.
I fine.
The good son come back again for you real house.
Ah,
yes, come
ya
back,
enciendo la cámara, ya. Ahora, ya ahorita enciendo la cámara.
come back with Gopal,
Ujú.
Gopal Krishna. I am not Shanta Maharaj, I am Puri Maharaj.
Prabhu, tienes que decir al Maharaj su nombre, Srila Madhava Puri Maharaj, ¿vale? Porque,
La Madhava, Bhakti Madhava, Puri Maharaj, Bhakti Madhava.
Thank
yes,
you.
yes.
Okay.
Bueno,
So
vamos a encender la cámara.
we're reading from,
Aquí. Ahí ya encendí la cámara.
there you are. In life. And
Ya
living
ahí,
for,
ya ahí.
So we're reading from Prapanna-jivanamrtam, Prapanna-jivanamrtam, text 37. What is it? 36.
36.
Huh?
36.
You missed one?
It's both. Both.
Oh, I see.
36.
36 out 36.
So about the last topic, you've been talking lately how sat-cit-ananda can be called being, thinking, fulfillment, and fulfillment is a combination of being and thinking, right?
Uh,
I don't know if Harinanda has heard that from you.
oh,
Prabhu, Prabhu está diciendo que estamos y Gurudev están diciendo que estamos leyendo unos versos de Prapanna-jivanamrtam y que bueno, que si no entiendes en cualquier momento yo te puedo escribir o llamar y te explico un poco lo que están leyendo. ¿Ok, Prabhu?
Okay, okay.
Ok, dalo.
text 37. Karma yogyadi tabya labhyam phalam vanshati chait prapnot jeva Krishna bhaktaha. And now we're reading, there are two verses here from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yat karma vir yat tapasa jnana vairagyatas yat yogena dana dharmena shreyobir itanar api sarvam mad bhakti yogena mad bhakto labhate yasa sar svarga pavargam mad dhamma katanchit parivanshati. When a
Maharaj,
devotee,
Maharaj is the first verse, Srimad Bhagavatam.
no, they're both from the Bhagavatam, yes, from the Bhagavatam. Both from the Tatraiva means the Bhagavatam in this case. When a devotee desires any object which is attainable by the practitioners of religiosity based on karma, jnana, and yoga, all his requirements are summarily achieved. So in other words, if a devotee desires anything that others desire by other processes, a devotee can easily get those things. Like karma, jnana, yoga, what all these people are trying for. That a devotee gets automatically without even trying. That's what he's saying here. And the translation, by engaging in devotional service, my devotee effortlessly attains anything and everything attainable in this world by virtuous practice, such as duty, austerity, learning, detachment, meditation, charity, or religiosity. Even residence in Vaikuntha Loka is his for the asking, to say nothing of the attainment of heaven or liberation. So it's explaining here that simply by the process of devotional service, everything is attained. Whatever you try to get by other means, other than devotion, all those things that you could possibly think of attaining, that will all be thrown at the lotus feet of the devotees, attainable. Uh, Not that the devotees aspire for those things, but those things will come. In other words, the perfection of life. The devotee won't be feeling any lack of anything. All satisfaction of everything. Because, as we explained in the previous verse, uh, because the thing that is driving people toward karma, jnana, yoga, all these other activities, is the desire for pleasure, for fulfillment, uh, sweetness. Prabhupada used to tell, if you want a $5, if you have a $5 program, a problem, sorry, if you have a $5 problem, or you have a $10 problem, or $50 problem. Then all those problems can be solved if you get $100. So go for the highest. Then all the other $5, $10, $20 problems will be solved. Something like that. So by engaging in devotion, all other things will be attained. We don't have to endeavor separately. Because what we are looking for in all endeavors is that highest pleasure, just to satisfy that pleasure which could only be attained by in relationship with Krishna, as Krishna is telling. In giving the secret, this is how my creation is arranged. This is how it's structured. This is what. You could catch the gist of this by serving me, by pleasing me. You will get everything. That's all it's meant. That's all it's meant to be. Everything else is a distraction. It's for those who don't turn away from me. They think they can get some pleasure by turning away from me. Then all these other things are offered to them. But that's only his illusory energy. So don't fall for that. You can extract yourself from those other temptations and then try to focus upon me. And then you will see where's the highest satisfaction coming. And text number 38. Akantika diyamanam api kaival yadikam na vanchanti vanchanti akinchit sarabodhira bhaktaye kantino mama vanchatatyapi maya datam kaivalam apudarbhavam. Bhagavad. So the exclusive devotees never aspire for liberation, headed by emancipation in the absolute, even if it is offered to them. The Bhagavata verse says, even if I desire to award it to them, my sagacious, saintly, exclusive devotees will never accept the ultimate emancipation of oneness in Brahman. So in India especially, we find many people have this idea of becoming one with God, becoming one with Brahman, entering into a state of kind of stupidity, a stupor. What that
Maharaj,
means?
this bear is very, very power. Very nice verse.
Nice verse. You like this verse?
The Prapanna-jivanamrtam. This
Ah,
this 20 38.
ah, you like this verse? Okay. So this, even if you want,
Brahmajyoti no aspiration, Maharaj.
what does he say?
Brahmajyoti no is
Ah, Ramajot.
Vaikuntha Loka.
No, he's saying here. Yeah, Brahmaloka, Brahmagyan. Not even Vaikuntha. This is Brahma. Even Vaikuntha the devotees don't want, but even Brahma they don't want also. So Brahma means becoming one with the absolute. If that is the goal of life, if that is the highest thing, then it's not. What is that? Where is the sweetness? Sweetness doesn't mean just withdrawal from all material miseries. If that's the highest sweetness, where is that? There's more sweetness in the material enjoyment than in oneness. The release of all joy, release of all pleasure, freedom from all pleasure. That is even worse than enjoyment of all pleasure in the material world. No? What could be higher? Why? How could that be higher? There's no pleasure. All pleasures are stopped. And that in itself is supposed to be the highest pleasure. Not a good deal. Cheating. The devotees, no, there's something more than this release from all material pleasures. And that is engagement in devotional or higher pleasure in the dedicating in the service world. There is also joy and pleasure there. Beyond the pleasures of material enjoyment, or the pleasure of being released from all material enjoyment. And sitting in, like I say, an undifferentiated oneness where nothing happens. Some people may feel relieved to enter that state of uh, rest in peace. But devotees, no, there's something more. There is a place where you can enjoy uh, something higher than material enjoyment. As I said, that inner taste that is driving everyone, every soul. We cannot do without that. There is no question of anything without that inner taste, that uh, uh, highest enjoyment, Vladini Shakti. It must be there, otherwise there will be nothing else. Without that, everything will become dead, uh, unmoving, undifferentiated. That is a differentiating element. Ananda, ecstasy, rasa visa, Krishna, relationship, service of Krishna, love of Krishna, and his reciprocal love of his devotee. This is what Vaishnava Dharma is teaching. Prema Dharma. And this is what Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita and also in the Bhagavatam. Remember, Srimad Bhagavatam is the book incarnation of Krishna. It's not different from it. Just like the Bhagavad Gita is the words of Krishna. The Bhagavatam is also the literary incarnation of Krishna. Non-different from Krishna. And in the Bhagavatam, all that we are told is the Sattva Purana, the highest Purana, the Shuddha Sattva Purana, the Purana of pure goodness. We are told what is what, what is Krishna's pastimes, and how the devotees engage in those pastimes and relish hearing about and engaging in those pastimes. Kaivalyach, next text, 39. Kaivalyach Shreya Slokyadikam Api Nichanti. Matsevaya Pratitam Te Solokyadi Chatustayam Likshanti Sevaya Purna Utonyat Kala Viputam. Sridhar's commentary. Nor do they aspire for even positive liberation, beginning with residence in the Lord's abode, which is infinitely superior to ultimate emancipation of oneness in Brahman. That is a very subtle point, that devotees are engaged in Krishna service not for any pleasure as such, as not for getting some reward, but that the service itself is their reward. They only want service to Krishna, whether in heaven or hell. It's not the place that they are getting the result or whatever that they are looking for. Simply by the act of engaging in service of Krishna, the fulfillment comes immediately. They don't look for some result to get pleasure uh, from their service. The service itself is the highest pleasure. They don't need anything else other than that. That's the only, in fact, without service, all their pleasure will disappear. The whole spiritual or devotional divine service, divine pleasure, no service will disappear without that service. Devotees will feel uh, abandoned, even if they are in the most highest heavenly planets or in Vaikuntha. Without that intimate loving service of Krishna, they won't be satisfied. Huh? They won't find that satisfaction. Only in that loving service itself. No other uh, substitute will give them their fulfillment. So when my dedicated pure devotee never accepts any of the four kinds of positive liberation, Salokya, Sadipya, Sarupya, there are four different types of liberation. To be in the same planet of Krishna, to have the same form as Krishna, to become one with Krishna. All these things, devotees don't aspire for that even. Even if they avail themselves to him by dint of his service unto me, then why will he ever wish for materialistic enjoyment and ultimate emancipation in Brahman or Sayujamukti, which are very swiftly vanquished by the march of the time. By Sayujamukti, the soul's eternal status falls into the jaws of death. Thus, sense enjoyment and monistic liberation hold no permanence. So those types of liberation, they are temporary. Why are they temporary? Because the devotee doesn't become satisfied. There's no real satisfaction of the soul in all those other types of liberation. That's sweetness which the soul is hankering for, which it cannot live without, cannot even exist. And he doesn't even want to know. There's nothing, no motivation for the devotee who only wants the connection with the service through his service, to pleasing him. So these are things that the highest devotees, the acharyas, have explained to us. Without explaining these things to us, especially Sridhar's divine words about these things, who could understand? Just like we find, let's say, in the Christian or Muslim even religions, the idea is that people have is that they're going to worship God and then they'll go to heaven and they'll have a good time with Christ or with God or whatever. They'll have a big meal and they'll have a lot of friends and a lot of beautiful women and beautiful people around them. And they're thinking like that. Let's worship God so we can get that kind of eternal life. But the Vaishnava, the pure Vaishnava, doesn't think like that. No, I don't want to live even in heaven if I don't have your loving devotional service.
Maharaj, whenever you talk about this topic,
Huh?
you always quote Mahaprabhu's verse, Natanam Najanam Nasundaram,
Oh,
because he tells, I'll come birth after birth, where I don't want good birth.
huh? Huh? No other thing. Gopi Bhartak Pada Kamalayo. Mahaprabhu says, Gopi Bhartak Pada Kamalayo, Dasa Dasa Dasa. I only want to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the Gopi. The smallest amount of service connection I can have with you. That is my highest aspiration. No, it's not enough to know what bhakti is. It's also important to know what it is not. Huh? Here's explaining what devotion is not. Devotion is not aspiration for all these other things. It is not bhakti. It is not Shuddha bhakti. Shuddha bhakti means not desiring any of these things. Then we can come to understand or to appreciate what is Shuddha bhakti. Anya vilasita sunyam. Jnana karma jnanavitam. Anukulena Krishna Nushilaram Bhakti. Rupa Goswami explains. To give up all these other desires, go beyond all of those things. All right, one more verse. Text number 40. Kamala Bhaktir Eva Bhagavan Asikarana Samartha Nahi Yoga Jnana Daya. The Bhagavatam verse. Nasadyanti Mam Yogo Nasankyam Dharma Udhava Namadas Namadhyayas Tapas Tyago Tata Bhaktir Mamorjino Morjita. Only intense devotion can subjugate the Supreme Lord. Meditation, knowledge, etc. cannot. O Uddhava, pursuits such as eight-step yoga, knowledge of oneself as one with Brahman, rabbinical religiosity, Vedic study, all kinds of austerity, selflessness, and asceticism. None of these can bind me as intense devotion does. Huh? Not enough to know what we have to do. We also know what we do, what we don't should not do. That is devotion properly. Otherwise, we may be engaged in Bhakti Yoga for some other purpose, and then it becomes what would you call
Karma Mishra?
huh?
Mishra.
Mishra Bhakti, yes. Huh? That becomes mixed with other things. That is not pure Bhakti. But this is very kind. And Gurudev is very kind to explain these things so carefully and explicitly to us. What to do and what not to do. What is what. Okay. Any questions or comments?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes?
Yes. What? 1 minute, please.
Okay.
He's typing.
Yeah.
What is it?
Not a question, just a comment. Uh, Long comment.
Yes, Maharaj. It's up. Yeah. Great.
Quoting Bhagavad Gita, he's saying, you can attain all this
Can
knowledge.
everyone hear you?
They can hear.
They can hear?
Yeah. You can attain all this knowledge if you satisfy the enlightened spiritual master with prostrating obeisances, pertinent inquiries, and sincere service. Great souls who are highly expert in scriptural knowledge and endowed with direct understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth will teach you such divine knowledge. 434. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. With this attitude, one should approach such domain of knowledge. Pranipat, surrender. Pariprasna, honest inquiry. Seva, attitude of service. One should be very friendly and bondsman-minded. This is the proper way to approach such platform of knowledge. Such higher knowledge does not come to serve us who are persons of very low status. If one wants higher knowledge and learning, the only thing to do is to serve him, and if he gives you mercy, then he will utilize you. But one very important thing should be remembered. No one can utilize him. That higher knowledge manifested as an agent sent by the Supreme Lord. He is a subject of the spiritual world who has descended to the material plane, and we are a subject of this material world, and we will have to become an object in order to be handled by the higher knowledge that has descended to this plane. If one wants that connection with that higher knowledge, then one must approach that plane with that attitude. Pranipat. That means my experience here is over. I have nothing to aspire for in this. There is no charm here for me. It is over. Pariprasna. Honest inquiry, submissive humility, humble inquiry with sincere enthusiasm, and without challenging, without any desire to challenge, that is enough. Seva. One must enter there only to fulfill its purpose. Service cannot be subordinated to us, tiny people with little experience and conception of petty satisfaction. We must feel great pleasure that he is handling us. Then only, and only then, can we really approach him. In that way, and in that favorable environment, higher knowledge should be cultivated. Actually, that higher knowledge is not subordinated to this any worldly conception of this world of mortality. That higher knowledge is actually sat-cit-ananda. That is the eternal truth, sat. That is impregnable existence, chit. That is consciousness itself, that eternal bliss, ananda. In conclusion, if someone is seeking eternal happiness, then the above verse from Bhagavad Gita, one must pay close attention to it. It is not a matter of repeating it like a parrot, but understanding its deep meaning and meditating on it. The attitude to be adopted, mentioned above, and the path to be followed, mentioned above, both add up to the process that must be followed faithfully. If the heart's desire to find eternal happiness is truly real, there is no other way, there is no other way. That is the path, it should never be forgotten. Gaur Haribol, Dial Nitai, Jai Gurudev.
I do. Where's that from?
Very enthusiastic Hariananda.
It's his commentary of Bhagavad Gita, verse 4.34.
Okay. The quality of surrender, huh? Very high quality. Sharanagati.
La cualidad más elevada es la rendición.
Yeah, that seems beyond beyond us actually. It's only by the mercy of Krishna, mercy of Gurudev, can we get to such a place. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Goswami Maharaj. Jai.
Jai,
Srila Bhakti Sundar Govind Dev Goswami Maharaj.
Jai,
Srila Bhakti Yoga Maharaj.
Jai,
Jai.
Bhakti Vishkam Santa Maharaj. All
Jai.
Maharajas. He Jai.
Jai.
Oh, Premanandi.
Jai.
Hari
Jai.
Bol.
Puri
Love to
Maharaj.
you all. Hari Krishna.
Very nice, satsanga.
Hare Krishna.